Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the second installment of, let's see if I can get this right this time, stash swatching before shopping. I should have come up with something that's a little bit easier to say, but today I'm going to do my peach blushes. So yeah, so I just pulled out all my kind of peachy, not super pink blushes. The line between the colors is kind of not as clear as it was for red lipsticks, so I think there are some blushes that I swatched today that I'll also swatch when I do pink blushes. But anyway, let's get started. So here's just kind of a quick overview of the blushes. There are some palettes, and I'm not going to swatch every shade in the palette today, just the peachy shades and corally shades, I guess. So these are all the blushes we will be swatching today. So I'm going to start with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Palette. I'm going to start with this shade right here, which is called Incandescent Electra. So that's it right there. I'll probably build it up a little bit so we can see it a little better. So yeah, it's peach, but it's also pink. So I think that's where my trouble is going to come in today, trying to compare things. But that is the peachiest shade of the palette, so that is that. So next I'm going to swatch NARS Orgasm, which you've probably seen before. And it's just a peachy, shimmery blush. Alright, and those are those two next to each other. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one. So this is the Too Faced Sweethearts blush in Peach Beach. So I'm going to swirl them all together because that's what I normally do when I use this. Alright, and that is that right there. And what do you know, these three are looking pretty close. Peach Beach actually looks a little darker, but that one you can kind of play with and kind of swirl your brush in different areas. So I kind of did a swatch on the bottom right there, and that's just of the peach shade in the Too Faced blush on the farthest right hand side. So skipping the pink stripe in the middle in the highlighting side, or the highlighting stripe on the other side. And when you just do that color, it looks pretty similar to Orgasm, actually. Okay, so since I've done shimmery blushes so far, I'm going to keep going with that and do Coral from the Lorac Pro To Go palette. That is the Coral shade from Lorac Pro To Go, and it does look more corally than the other ones, but they still are all four pretty close. This one does look a little bit darker, which I'm kind of surprised by because I always thought that was a pretty light blush. Clinique Cheek Pop in Ginger Pop, and this is one of my favorite blushes in my stash. So that's the Clinique Ginger Pop right there. Okay, next up is the Balm Frat Boy, and this is a peachy pink matte blush. So that is the Frat Boy blush down here. Okay, next is NARS Liberte, and this is an apricot blush. And there is a little bit of shimmer in the pan, but on the cheeks it looks pretty natural, or not matte, but pretty natural, I'd say. Alright, hopefully I'll be able to fit all these swatches on my arm, but this right here is the Liberte blush by NARS. Alright, this one is Benefit's Majorette, and it's a cream to powder blush, and it is a kind of peachy pink shade. Okay, and that one looks pretty pink, I think, when you look at it in the pan, but it is pretty bright and has a lot of kind of orangey peach in it. So that's it right there, Benefit Majorette. So next up I have the NARS Virtual Domination Cheek Palette, and this was the Holiday Cheek Palette from this past holiday collection. And I'm going to be swatching this one right here, which is Final Cut, which is kind of a corally shade. Alright, it's focusing. So this is Final Cut right here, and it's looking really similar to the Benefit Majorette, although this is a cream and this is a powder. This is the Josie Maran Coconut Watercolor Cheek Gelee, and this is in Poppy Paradise. This is a really kind of bright corally color. Alright, so I've always thought of Poppy Paradise as a kind of coral, but next to all these other ones, it looks really pink. So that's it right there. I've got one more, so I'm running out of space. Right. So this is the Maybelline Dream Bouncy Blush in Candy Coral. And I'm not a big fan of this product. I have two of these, and they're just really weird. Like, watch this. You can just take the whole thing out and squish it around. It's weird. So anyway, let me try to swatch this one. So right here is the Candy Coral from the Maybelline Dream Bouncy Blush. Okay, so let's see, can we get all of them? Okay, you can see all of them now. So, I mean, some of these I thought were peachy, but look next to the other ones, they look really pink. So I'd say the peachiest kind of looking ones are Liberte and Majorette. And then these all look very pink compared to those. But as you can see, like, all of these are really, really similar. And I definitely don't need any more blushes that are peachy, pink, or corally. So, let's see. So these two I think are very similar. This one is the Peach Beach, and this is Ginger Pop. And I'm really surprised by that comparison because I just always kind of look at the Peach Beach blush and think of it as being really light. But Ginger Pop is one of my favorites. And so, yeah, so I'm surprised that those two look so similar when they're swatched out. Let's see, what else is interesting? Candy Coral actually kind of looks pretty similar to this one, which is the Final Cut from NARS. Oh, sorry, I kind of moved. But I really hate the formula of the Dream Bouncy blush, so I've been kind of toying with the idea of just throwing this one away. So, but yeah, so if I do that, I do like the color, and I have the Final Cut blush to kind of replace it. I was very surprised that this one looks so pink compared to everything else, because I always thought it was more orangey, at least because I have the Pink Escape by Josie Maran, and I have this one, and I thought this one was super orangey compared to that one, so maybe I'll swatch this in my pink blush video as well. But yeah, a lot of these up here are looking pink too, so I might have to compare them to my pink blushes. But yeah, this was pretty eye-opening, I guess. These shades are shades that I definitely don't need, and these are a lot of my blushes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is about a third of my blush collection, and I would say there's like I would probably only need like 3 maybe from this kind of, I would like 1 coral, although this one's powder and this one's, well, it's cream to powder and that one's powder, so I don't really need both of those, I guess. But yeah, so I would like 1 of these kind of corally shades. I'd like 1 that's like my Ginger Pop, and then 1 of these lighter peaches, and then I really like the Liberte. I think this one looks pretty unique compared to the rest, but like maybe the most unique compared to the rest of them, but it still looks pretty similar. And I'm pretty sure like once you kind of blend these out that the differences will become even fewer. So yeah, so those are my not pink blushes, even though they look pretty pink. So yeah, you learn something when you do this. So if you haven't like swatched all your similar colors next to each other, I really, really suggest it. Because look, this is clearly my favorite kind of blush color. Anyway, so I'm back for a second because there was a blush I forgot, and this is Milani Luminoso, which is a peachy blush with some shimmer. So I went ahead and I swatched that right here, and then I put some other ones I thought might be similar because I'd already washed my hand. So this is Peach Beach by Too Faced. This is Orgasm. This is Majorette, and this is, what is that one? Ginger Pop, I think, and then this is Liberte. So that one is definitely more peach than Peach Beach, or I would say Orgasm is. And so that might be a peachier one, but also just another thing. I have 13, I think now, or was it 14? I don't remember, but yeah, just another peachy blush that I do have that looks pretty similar to the rest. Alright guys, I hope that was helpful or informative and that I didn't ramble too much. So yeah, that was all my peachy blushes, and I'll be back soon with another edition of this series. Thanks for watching. Bye.